I've never said this out loud. Not because I couldn't, but because once it's said, I can't pretend it doesn't exist anymore. There's something about me that the people closest to me don't know. And if they did, I don't think they'd hate me. I think something worse would happen. I think they'd look at me and realize they never really knew me at all. To everyone else, I'm normal. That's the word people usually use. Reliable. Quiet. Good. I show up when I'm supposed to. I say the right things at the right times. I nod. I listen. I smile when it's expected. If you ask people to describe me, they'd probably say I'm easy to be around. And that's exactly the problem. Because the version of me they know is the version I built for them. Carefully, patiently, over years. I learned early on that being honest didn't make life easier. It just made it louder. So I learned something better: how to disappear without actually leaving. I don't remember the first time I hid the truth. I remember how natural it felt. It wasn't a dramatic lie, no big moment, just a small choice. Someone asked me something important, something that deserved honesty. And I looked at them, saw what they needed to hear, and gave them that instead. They relaxed immediately, smiled, moved on. And I realized something terrifying. It worked. That was the moment I learned that truth isn't always what people want. Sometimes people want comfort, and sometimes comfort costs integrity. I told myself it was harmless, that I was protecting them, that it didn't really matter. That was the lie behind the lie. Over time, it got easier. Not because I stopped caring, but because I got better at separating. There was the person I showed and the person I contained. I'd think things I'd never say, feel things I'd never admit. I learned how to react without revealing, how to agree without meaning it, how to say I'm fine in a way that ended conversations. The strange part is, nobody ever questioned it, which made me wonder, were they not looking closely enough? Or was I hiding better than I thought? Here's the part I've never shared. There was a moment, just one, where telling the truth would have changed everything. Not dramatically, not like in movies. Just enough. Enough to stop someone from blaming themselves. Enough to shift the weight slightly off their shoulders. I knew that. I felt it in my chest as the moment passed, and I said nothing. I watched them accept responsibility for something that wasn't entirely theirs. Not because I wanted them to suffer, but because speaking up meant exposing a version of myself I wasn't ready to face. I told myself they'd be fine, that it wasn't that serious, that time would soften it. Time didn't soften it. It buried it. And I helped. Here's what nobody tells you about secrets. They don't stay still. They change how you listen, how you respond, how you sleep. Every compliment feels slightly undeserved. Every moment of closeness feels conditional. Because there's always this thought, if they knew. Not if they found out, but if they knew. As if the truth itself would rewrite their memory of me. Sometimes I imagine the moment. Not the confrontation. The silence after. The quiet recalculation behind their eyes. That's what scares me. I don't know if this makes me a bad person. I don't even know if what I did was unforgivable. What I do know is that I've spent years being trusted by people who don't know who they're trusting. And the hardest part? They feel closer to me than ever, while I feel further away than I've ever been. So, I'll leave you with the question I ask myself more often than I should. Am I someone who made a mistake? Or am I someone who just got very good at living with it?